Hey guys, welcome back. On June 13th, Halo Infinite faces its Judgment Day.
Come with me if you want to live.
It's okay, Mom. He's here to help. It's okay.
After 5 years of hype, teasers, and build-up, last year's reveal didn't exactly live up to expectations. As much as I may have personally enjoyed it, it was very clear based on the reception from the wider gaming audience that it wasn't up to par for a flagship next-gen Xbox game, but more importantly, it wasn't up to par for a Halo game. However, next week 343 have a chance to wipe the slate clean and start again, to totally shift the public perception of Infinite from pessimism to optimism. Now obviously we, the Halo community, have seen the improvements they've made to the game since last year's fabled Krieg build in the Inside Infinite articles, but pictures and quotes from extremely text-heavy articles don't really reach the mainstream audiences. They satisfy us, the Halo community, but general gaming fans aren't going to sit there and sift through thousands upon thousands of words to find little bits of text or pictures that show improvements. They want to see them in action in the game. Fingers crossed, that's what they'll get. Now, there are multiple E3-like events that are going to be going on this summer that could all give us various bits of Halo news. However, it's kind of confusing because from face value, it seems like they're all kind of happening at the same time. So E3 runs from June 12th to June 15th, the Summer Game Fest runs from June 10th to July 22nd, and the Xbox and Bethesda Game Showcase is on June 13th. Now, it's a bit confusing because Xbox are marketing this showcase as kind of its own thing, but it also appears to be part of the Summer Game Fest, and also Xbox are classed as a pinnacle partner with Nintendo at E3, which is kind of confusing. Now, what I imagine this means is that after the big reveal, they're going to start hosting like mini Inside Xbox shows like they have done in recent years that drop smaller bits of information about the game, but who knows at this point. It's a bit of a confusing schedule. If I ever manage to decode it, I'll let you guys know. Of course, I am going to be streaming the what looks to be Infinite multiplayer reveal on June 13th at 10 AM PT, 1 PM ET, and 6 PM BST, which is UK time, right here on the channel. Honestly, these streams are like unironically the highlight of my entire year, so make sure you stop by. Every year is an absolute blast. You won't want to miss it. So, on the topic of the big reveal, what can we expect? Well, sadly, because Halo seems to once again be getting lumped in with Xbox's entire reveal show instead of being given its own dedicated show, which should have happened years ago, let alone this year, I honestly don't think we're gonna get much. At least I don't think we're gonna get as much as people seem to be expecting. I see people predicting like multiplayer, campaign, some big third mode, and even things like Forge, and considering Halo is just gonna be one of many, many parts of what is really just a 90-minute showcase, I don't think that's gonna happen. Now, what I realistically think we're going to get is a purely multiplayer-focused reveal, with a hype trailer consisting of various different 4v4 arena modes, with maybe even some customization features thrown in there as well, given both the emphasis that 343 are putting on customization, and also how it ties into multiplayer. I think we're going to end up getting some sort of BTB 2.0 reveal, and then finally a rough date for when flighting is going to start, which is probably going to be sometime in July. I find it really hard to believe that they'll show any campaign stuff, honestly, given how exclusively multiplayer-centric the marketing for this reveal is, and also how little time they're realistically going to have during the 90-minute showcase. This is really why I wanted Halo to have its own show, like what Call of Duty gets, and Destiny and Battlefield, and like every other AAA game on the planet, instead of just being lumped in with all the other Xbox games. Like, I get why Xbox and Microsoft do that, but I don't know, I feel like Halo's at the point now where it very much deserves its own dedicated show, but I guess it's not getting that. It is what it is. We'll definitely end up seeing more of the campaign over the summer for sure. Now, where, when, and how they do that, I don't know, but I find it hard to imagine a world where they don't show it off again in some capacity outside of trailers before launch, for no other reason other than to like purely just put all the graphical worries to rest. Honestly, I can see the graphical improvements being the main focus of what they reveal. Obviously, that was the main point of contention last year, and it's the main thing that 343 need to show the world has improved. Now, obviously, we know how much they've improved, at least based on the in-game screenshots that we've seen in the Inside Infinite articles, but the wider gaming community need to see those graphics in action in some gameplay or a gameplay trailer or something. My pure hopium-filled dream is that later in the summer at some point, Infinite gets its entire own dedicated show where they can show off bits of literally every facet of the game at once, but I don't know if we'll get that. That's a very, very hopium-filled dream right now. But yeah, realistically though, my expectations for the Xbox Game Showcase are a multiplayer announcement trailer, BTB 2.0, and a flighting announcement. That BTB 2.0 thing is still just a leak, but at the same time, a large-scale Battlefield-esque big team battle experience is something that I can really see them doing for the big mode. Given the scale of the world in the campaign, the Slipspace engine can clearly manage large play spaces, so now feels like the perfect time to finally do a mode like that. Bungie teased us by cutting Global War from Reach, so fingers crossed 343 can actually give us a mode like that. And one final thing, I would absolutely love it if Joe Staten was the one presenting the Halo part of the show. Now, I don't know if they're going to be doing it on stage this year like they always do, or if lockdown restrictions mean that once again, like last year, they have to do it digitally, but either way, I think having Joe present some aspect of the Halo part of the show would be so damn good. I mean, Infinite is basically being billed as Combat Evolved 2.0, and Joe was the one who debuted CE gameplay at Macworld all those years ago, so you know what? The fractal lines up. If you understand that reference, then 1,000 internet points to you. Right, finally, just to briefly kind of return to the topic of leaks, we have a few rather interesting leaks that popped up over the last week that I kind of want to cover. So the first one comes from Jeff Grubb, who I believe is meant to be a pretty reputable insider, who claims that Microsoft are primarily interested in catering to, and I quote, Halo-ass Halo fans, and he's worried that it won't do much for non-Halo fans. He notes specifically that at launch they'll be focusing on things Halo fans know and love, like CTF for example, which I think is a good thing as long as we don't get a repeat of Halo 5 and we actually launch with a decent amount of content this time. Honestly though, if this is true, I think this is a good thing. To me, it shows that 343 are truly confident in the Halo identity and don't have to rely on trends or other kind of common things that you find in other games to make the game attractive to the general audience. If they genuinely believe that they've created a game that is so Halo that it will sell itself based on that identity, then I think that's a really good thing, but obviously time will tell. Jeff expects the E3 show to be entirely multiplayer focused, which I think is pretty obvious given the marketing, and that things like Battle Royale, if they happen, not when, if, will happen down the road and not at launch. He also said not to expect a long deep dive into Infinite at E3, because 343 are busy finishing the game over creating highly polished vertical slices to show off, which of course takes time away from development. Now, as much as that might suck in the short term, and it kinda does, I honestly think that that's the best move. If we have to sacrifice a massive E3 showing to ensure that we get a polished, content-rich game at launch, then you know what, so be it. That's fine by me. I'd rather have the latter. And the second leak is rather interesting. You might want to sit down for this one. It's not related to Infinite, rather it's related to Halo and Bungie. So Bungie's 30th anniversary is coming up in a few weeks, June 19th I believe, and according to a leak, as a part of their big 30th anniversary celebrations, they want to add the Halo Combat Evolved Magnum to Destiny as an exotic hand cannon, as well as adding new exotic quests, weapons, and armors from Bungie's legacy as well, which means Halo and possibly even Marathon as well. Now, apparently, this leak was made a few seasons ago and has predicted a lot of stuff really accurately, so you know what, I honestly wouldn't be that surprised if it ends up being true. Not only would it make for a great kind of historic event, but I think as well it'd be a great tie-in marketing campaign for Infinite as well. Now, I've not been addicted to Destiny for quite a while. I think the last time that I really grinded Destiny was when Shadowkeep came out, when I was doing Garden of Salvation. That was it. I've tried to get back into it so many times since then, but I've never been able to. It's never stuck with me again like it did then. But honestly, this would hands down get me playing again, if only for a little while. Since the Destiny 1 alpha, I've seen so many pipe dream photoshops of BRs and Mark 6 armor as exotics, and the mere thought that that might actually happen is really exciting. I mean, at the end of the day, we got Master Chief in Fortnite. That's happened, right? If that can happen, who's to say that we can't get a CE Magnum in Destiny, right? I don't see a world where that can't happen. But anyway, Halo Infinite's Judgment Day is rapidly approaching, so what do you want to see from the June 13th reveal? Let me hear it down below in the comments, and also let me know if that Halo Destiny collaboration, if it ends up happening, would get you playing Destiny. I'd be curious to hear if this would get people who maybe never tried Destiny in the first place or fell out of love with the game, like myself, playing again. Let me know down in the comments, and with that said, that's going to do it for today. I want to give a massive thank you to all of my amazing patrons for the continued support over there as per usual, and thank you all so much for watching, I really do appreciate it. And I'll catch you all in the next one.